Hi guys, Nicholas here at Online Calisthenics, and today we're going to talk about how to build back muscles with calisthenics. Bodyweight workout is really a great way to build back muscles, and it's very versatile, and there's plenty of things we can do to work out a strong back section. So I'm going to go over 8 exercises that are great to do depending on which level you're at. So we'll start with some beginner level exercises, and then we'll rank up to intermediate and a little more advanced as well. Nothing too crazy here. Really, anybody can do that as long as they practice consistently. Let's start with something that really requires zero equipment. It's the Scorpio and Superman drill. This is great for building up your scapular strength. So your shoulder blades, the ability to squeeze them together, very important for your upper back section. And it's going to really be great as well for the lower back section, the ability to raise up when you're standing on the floor. So let's play this. Start on your belly and then lift your arms up. You want to lift your chest up, just like on the video. Lift your feet up so it triggers your lower back as well. You know, retract your scapula, and a variation of that is a Scorpio. So here you're pulling your scapula together, bringing your elbows behind you, pointing your feet up, and keep your hands up. Try to not drop your hands. That's going to force the shoulder blades to retract, to stay in your back pocket as a imaginary cue. You know, think that you're putting your scapula down in your jeans back pocket. That's a good way to imagine it. And this really builds up your upper back. And the fact that we squeeze your feet up helps the lower back here to really activate. I hope you can see the activation in my upper glutes and lower back here. It's really a good way to trigger these muscles. So hold it up, point your feet up, and try to maximize your time there. So work your way up. If you can only do a few seconds, that's fine. Try to alternate Superman holds, so the straight up, and then raise up again. So you can do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like I'm explaining in the video here. If you're even more advanced, you can start at 10. These are very good to do when you have absolutely no equipment and need to reinforce your back muscles. Very efficient. The second thing you can do at home anytime is the chair pull-ups. So this is a beginner's version for the Australian pull-ups. These ones, you will have your legs bent and your feet flat on the floor. So that gives you a lot of support. That helps stabilizing the chairs that may be a little bit unstable at times. So make sure that you really pull your chairs down when you pull. Don't, move them up forward and back. Just make sure it's stable and ground your feet on the floor as well. It's a beginner exercise. It just needs to be executed properly, and it really works your lat. So the first was the focus was put on the shoulder blades retraction, so the rhomboids inside of your back in the middle, and then your lower back. And this exercise is going to be a great combo so that you can activate your lats. So if you do the Scorpio and Superman as well as the chair pull-ups, you already get started with a good back workout, and keep repeating that consistently. You'll see progress, guaranteed. So let's see how it looks. Here you really want to tilt your pelvis and keep your core tight all the way through. The important aspect here is to go all the way down so that your shrug is forward and back every time you try to pull. And exhale on the way up and try to go as far as you can on the way up. So bring your elbows behind you. Very important cue here. You see here, I'm not trying to just stay halfway. I'm really trying to bring my chest all the way up to the chair support here. And that means that my rep is complete. Adding static holds is always useful. Whatever movement we're going to talk about here, you can always use static holds at the end of your sets. Very highly recommended. The third exercise is going to be a classic Australian pull-up. The very important difference here is that we start with our legs straight and our toes pointing up. So you're going to be on your heels here, and that's going to reinforce the need for core activation. So here I really need to stay strong in my core in order to keep my feet and my back active. So make sure that you hollow your body, engage the full chain of muscles from up to down. Shrug forward, just like you would do on the chair pull-up, except you have less support on the ground with your feet, so it just makes the movement a little harder to execute for your back. So it's going to really trigger those lats as well. Back and forth. Till your pelvis in. False grip a lot. Very important to work on your grip when you work your back. Never forget about your grip when you work out your back. And try to, same thing, bring your chest to the bar all the way up. Don't stay shy halfway. Go all the way. Alternative that I really like is the advanced Australian pull-up, which is basically this one where you put your feet around the bar. So you hang really with your legs around the opposite parallel bar. It's a great tool. So it does require a parallel bar apparatus, but it's really, really good for those of you guys who have access to a park. Highly recommend it. So the only difference that it's going to bring is that your pull is going to be a little lower. So instead of pulling to your chest, you're going to pull a little bit lower to your rib cage and even belly button. It's going to be more challenging, so it's a little more advanced. It's for intermediate people. Beginner can try it too. It's just you might not be able to get as high as you would if you're a little more advanced. But work your way up. You'll see a lot of activation in the lats, and the serratus and the core is going to really encompass a lot of different muscles in there. And I would highly recommend you guys to try it. So same thing, I'm doing holds, and I'm trying to be explosive on my way up. Very important to try. You can switch grips to activate slight different angles, and it's highly recommended to try. Really, it's a highly beneficial workout. The next exercise we're going to talk about is the humble shrug. It's recommended for beginners and intermediate. Really, if you're intermediate, just do more of them, hold longer, do more ample range of motion if you can. But this is really good. Anybody that's even advanced always should be doing shrugs and dead hangs. So you can combine those shrugs with a dead hang, and it's very good. So really here you want to focus on going up and down with your scapula, keeping your arms straight. All the way down, you depress everything. Try to go all the way down and then all the way up without bending your arms. And this is going to help put the focus on the scapula itself and really feel it and build the strength required to do pull-ups and get a strong back in general. So as you can see here, it's correlated with your core too. It's all going together. So after the shrug, once you get familiar with it, let's go and talk about the actual pulling. So we're going to start with chin-ups that are usually a little easier than pull-ups because you can use more biceps, which people are usually stronger with. And that's going to be there are going to be 3 levels of chin-ups. So we'll start with the easier one that always requires a false grip regardless of the level. So never forget about the false grip again. And that's going to be the normal chin-up is going to basically require the same technique as a pull-up, which is a shrug with your shoulder at the beginning of the movement. And you want to tilt your pelvis again, just like we saw in the previous video. Tuck your rib cage and your pelvis in. Make sure you're not flaring it out when you pull, because that's going to kill your movement in a way. So make sure to keep the body as straight as possible and fluid throughout the whole movement. You want to bring the chest to the bar and go as high as possible, really. So that's the classic one, where you keep your legs straight. Then there's a little more advanced that's going to trigger more lats, more back muscle building. The tuck leg chin up. It's good because it isolates your back and you can't really cheat it. And the third version of it would be a L-sit pull-up or chin up, sorry. That same similar way activates your back tremendously because you can't cheat with your legs, so there's no swinging, there's no momentum to it, and it's purely a lat pull. So try these. They're very, very good, and they will build your back muscles. The classic pull-up after the shrug that we talked about, you want to do the same thing and then pull after. So really important here. You can't really see the details on that video, and that's why I wanted to talk about the shrug separately. But at the bottom here, I'm really trying, and I stopped a little too late, but here at the bottom, I'm really trying to shrug. And because of the speed, you can't really see all the details as much as you would on a normal shrug video, but it's there, and that's the whole point, is to make that shrug active and make you able to pull and rebound once you're at the bottom. So when you're at the bottom of the pull up, you shrug it back, so it makes you bounce back up. And it's an easier way to come back up. It requires a lot more strength, but it's the proper technique to use. So try to be explosive at the bottom of your shrug. Try to really explode up and then pull with your arms, engage your core, hollow your body, and try to get as high as you can. Bring your chin to the bar and be consistent with it. Do not swing. The last thing we're going to talk about today is the classic front lever tuck. So it's for intermediate practitioners. Those of you guys who already performed the previous movements, I highly recommend front lever workout. I'll make more videos about the front lever, which is a staple movement. This is one of the easiest variation, which is just a tuck hold. But if you do it right, it's really, really going to build up strength. It's a static movement, so it's basically requiring just holding it. And what you want to do is, again, focus on your false grip and engage your lats. So really, like, your whole section is going to be tremendously activated. Your full back is going to be required to be activated. Let's see how it looks. You're going to get down and really engage your grip. Then tuck your knees up and engage your core. Bring your feet back, and you want to keep your knees slightly over your hips. If you're a complete beginner, or if you're not beginner, but if you're complete new to the movement, bring your knees to your chest and then try to unfold them a little bit so that they're in front of you and not completely tucked. So that's a way to make it a little harder. And the advanced tuck would be to bring your knees slightly forward as you progress. So play with this movement, see where you can be holding it now. So either all the way back or in the middle. And if you can, then try to bring your knees a little forward and keep going. So basically, the further you can hold it, the closer you're to your full front lever. There are other variations of that movement that I'll talk about in the next videos. But for now, really build the strength to hold that. Combine classic pull-ups and front lever tuck holds. I guarantee that your back will benefit from this. You will see a lot of strength building just from doing these, and increase the time of your holds. If you can hold anywhere from 3 to 5 seconds, it's a great beginning. It's a great start. But then, raise it up to 5, 10, 20 seconds hold, and then you'll really start burning. And once you start holding it for longer, trying to decrease, like resist, even if you're falling at the end of your hold, it's okay. Try to maintain that negative strength as you're finishing and struggling towards the end. And that's going to build up strength as you progress. So thanks for watching, guys. This is 8 exercises to build your back with calisthenics. I hope this video was useful. Click the subscribe button. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment, and I will be back next week. with a new video. Take care, guys.